Hello, I have something of a classic New England beer, at least I think, Mayflower Porter. This beer, for many years, was one of the highest rated English style porters on Beer Advocate, going back, to before when Untapped was kind of the go-to, not site but app for ratings. It's 5.2% alcohol. I believe the recipes stayed the same basically. This one's pretty fresh. Came well under a month ago. So the cool thing about this is that they use a little bit of peat smoked malt, but a very small amount. And they don't use any roasted barley, which is kind of the English porter, I think. Like an American porter can basically kind of be anything. A lot of American porters are more bitter, more hoppy, stronger, darker than a lot of European stouts. But this one seems, because it's modest strength, 5.2, and doesn't use roasted barley or black patent malt, a lot of chocolate malt in this. It sort of makes it fit into the English porter style, even though if you have this next to an actual English porter, London porter, or what is that, the Taddy porter from Sam Smith, it's going to be really different. Let's just do it. Yeah, right off the bat I can see through that liquid coming out. Highly carbonated, and I can see through the edges. Yeah, very carbonated. One thing I've noticed about the British porters is that they have a touch of acidity that I don't think I noticed in this last time I had it. But a head like that kind of bubbles out quickly, sometimes suggests, if it's not that acidic, it's just a lower pH a little bit. It also suggests a high carbonation level. And what's nice about this is that it's available all over New England and it's very reasonably priced. And easy to find it quite fresh, even at a big box store. So yeah, if I hold it up to the light, I can see some ruby tones through there. It is not pitch black, nor murky or anything. And I'm getting some big, chocolatey, deep, hint of smoky roastiness aromas. Lots of coffee, but also lots of bittersweet chocolate, but not without some sweetness, not without a little bit of chocolate syrupiness in there. Maybe a little malted milk ball type thing. And maybe it's the peat that's kind of filling in for the lack of ultra roast smokiness you get from roasted barley. Because you still get that roastiness, but it's more of a slight campfire earthy type thing, rather than just being pure char. And the head is died down gradually. Yeah, real big bubbles there. We'll see how long it sticks around. But a very deep, nice aroma. It's very chocolatey. It's got some s'mores type thing, like no graham cracker obviously, but definitely some malt. Carameling, yeah, definitely caramel in there. Smells good. Some body to it, but it's lightened up by the high carbonation and just a hint of fruity acidity comes in there in the flavor, but it lingers with lots of roasty coffee. And yeah, I didn't know for years and years that there was any smoked malt in this, but just the teeny little hint of peat in there makes it really nice. Like, most people hate really peat smoked malt forward beers. Just like a lot of people hate really smoky, in your face scotches. But this works really well, and that's why it's been around forever. Like, I think Mayflower's been brewing this longer than any of their other beers. It's not officially their flagship, because of course, like, IPAs are always going to sell better. But it is a great beer, and I will be very sad if they ever stop brewing this one. The mouthfeel isn't quite silky. I think the IBUs are listed as like 34, but the roastiness and the smokiness definitely helps to dry out the palate. Has the feel of strong coffee and bittersweet chocolate. And I guess at this fresh, the hops are definitely noticeable. They use like old school American hops, Galena and Glacier. Glacier is a little bit fruity, but Galena is like um, what they used to bitter a lot of old fashioned American pale lagers back in the day. Galena and what's the other one? Cluster. I guess it's not quite as old as Cluster, but sort of like that kind of noble sort of thing, but it's definitely giving me some earthy bitterness. Mm. Yeah, this is a really, really nice beer. The mouthfeel could be maybe a little better, the carbonation not so spritzy and bubbly, but that keeps it a little bit more sessionable. And it's definitely more roasty and dark than or English examples, but less than a lot of American ones. It's definitely more robust than, what is that? The Black Butte Porter from Deschutes. That one is actually probably one of the closest to English style porters I've had, especially because that one's bottle conditioned. This is definitely its own thing though. There aren't many porters being made with this intensity of malt character, using a little bit of peat smoked malt, but still only being 5.2. I like it a lot. This deserves a 4.25, maybe even higher. And I might buy some more of this in the rest of the cold season coming up.